Have you ever felt like you're just looking for a manual for life? Some clear instructions on how to build good relationships and just live with some kind of purpose? Well, it turns out that a blueprint might have been around for over 2,000 years, kind of hidden in this ancient story. Today, we're going to dig into the Sutra of Goodborn, an absolutely incredible piece of wisdom that really maps out what a meaningful life can look like.
So, let's just start with this one big question. So often we look up for answers, right? For some big cosmic secret to it all. But what if the most powerful guidance is actually right here, all around us, in the people and the responsibilities that we face every single day? That's the core idea we're about to unpack.
So our story kicks off with a young man named Shansang, and he's lost. He's adrift in grief because his father has just passed away, and it's left him trying to make sense of everything, including a really mysterious final instruction.
Get this, before he died, his father's final wish was just this one cryptic line. So every single morning, Shansang would go outside and he would physically bow to the east, the south, the west, the north, and then up to the sky and down to the ground. He was doing exactly what his father said, but he had no clue what it really meant. And that's when he has this chance encounter with the Buddha. So the Buddha sees him doing this ritual and explains, hey, your father wasn't talking about a physical thing. He says before you can honor anyone or anything else, you have to protect yourself first. The real bowing, the true honoring, doesn't start with directions. It starts with building a solid foundation of personal ethics. Basically, clearing out all the behaviors that weaken you from the inside out.
And here's the first big lesson. The Buddha points out these 6 core things that act like leaks in a bucket. They just drain your energy, your money, and your potential. These aren't just, bad habits. They're things that actively stop you from being able to build a stable, meaningful life.
What I love about this is how practical this ancient advice is. Take alcohol, for instance. The text doesn't just say it's bad. No, it breaks down the 6 specific consequences, showing this clear domino effect. Your wealth vanishes, your health declines, it causes arguments, your reputation takes a hit, your judgment gets cloudy, and you start neglecting your work. It's the same clear cause and effect logic for all the other vices too.
Okay, so once you've tidied up your own house, so to speak, the very next step is to look at the people you're letting in. The Buddha explains that your friends are either like a shield that protects you, or they're a weak spot that leaves you exposed. So learning to choose them wisely is an absolutely critical life skill. And he gives us this super clear guide for telling the difference. He warns us about 4 types of, let's call them false friends. The taker, who always wants more. The flatterer, who's nice to your face but not behind your back. The sycophant, who actually encourages your worst habits. And the bad influence. But on the flip side, he tells us to look for 4 types of true friends. The empathic, the helpful, the mentor, and the compassionate. And this isn't about being judgmental. It's just about being smart for your own well-being.
So once that foundation of self-control and good company is set, this is where we get to the great reveal. The Buddha finally explains the real meaning of Shansang's ritual. The 6 directions, they aren't points on a compass at all. They're beautiful metaphors for the 6 most important relationships that define a human life. First up, the East. Just like the sun rises in the East, this direction represents our beginning, our origin. It symbolizes that foundational relationship between parents and their children. And here's the crucial part. It's not a one-way street. A child has duties, like supporting their parents and carrying on family traditions. But parents have duties too, to guide their kids, teach them skills, and provide for them. It's a true partnership built on mutual care that spans generations. Okay, next we head south. The South symbolizes warmth, light, and growth. This direction represents that vital relationship between teachers and students, the people who give us the knowledge and the skills we need to really flourish in life.
And again, we see this pattern of mutual responsibility. Of course, a student should be respectful and eager to learn, but a good teacher has a duty to teach skillfully, to make sure you actually get it, to hold nothing back, and to genuinely want you to succeed. It's a true partnership in learning.
Now we turn to the West, where the sun sets, and we often return home for the day. This direction represents our most intimate partnership, the relationship between a husband and wife, which is the very center of a harmonious home life. And right here, the focus is all on mutual respect and shared responsibility. A husband is guided to be respectful, faithful, and generous. The wife, in turn, is guided to manage the home with skill and care, protect the family's assets, and be a kind and diligent partner. It's about how, together, they create a home that's stable and loving.
To the north, this direction represents our community, our social circle. This is all about our friends and companions. You know, the people we choose to walk alongside us in life. Our support network.
And this really gets to the heart of what true friendship is, right? It's so much more than just having fun. It's about being generous, kind, and reliable. And in return, a real friend protects you when you're down, they stand by you when things get tough, and they become a safe harbor when you need one.
Okay, now we look down to what's right beneath our feet. The direction below symbolizes our foundation, the work we do, and the people we do it with. This covers the relationship between employers and employees, the very structure that supports our daily lives.
Isn't it just fascinating how modern this feels? An employer should assign work fairly, provide decent wages, give people rest, and even look after them when they're sick. And an employee? They should be diligent, honest, and take real pride in their work. It's a blueprint for a workplace built on fairness and respect, not just exploitation. And finally, we look up. The direction above represents our highest goals, our values, our search for wisdom. This is the relationship between us, the everyday people, and our spiritual guides, our mentors, or whatever our sources of wisdom might be. This relationship is all about fostering growth. We should approach our guides with an open heart and support them. And in return, a true guide doesn't just hand you answers. They encourage you to be better, they steer you away from harm, they help clear up your confusion, and ultimately, they show you the path to finding your own wisdom. So when you step back and you put all of these pieces together, what do you really have? Well, you've got a complete 360-degree blueprint for a well-lived life. It's a whole system where every single one of your relationships is honored through specific, concrete actions. And it even gets as practical as telling you how to manage your money.
I mean, check this out. The sutra literally recommends dividing your income into 4 parts. You use one part for your daily expenses, you take another part and you save it for emergencies, and then you take the other 2 parts, a full half of what you earn, and you reinvest it back into your work or your business. It's such a simple, powerful formula for building the stable financial foundation that makes this whole ethical life possible.
In the end, the big lesson for Shansang was that honoring the 6 directions was never about bowing to the horizon. It was about turning to face the real people in his life with respect, with care, and with his sense of duty. This ancient text gives us a map, not of the world, but of our own lives. So I guess the question to leave you with is this. Looking at that map, which direction are you facing right now, and who are you facing today?